Sabrina, have you finished all the paperwork that I left you with? Today's the day all of them are due, so I'll be needing you to drop them off at my office. Oh, you're talking about those? I haven't done any of them yet, though. What? Why not? Not only have I not done any of them yet, but I haven't even looked at any of them. That can't be. I handed them off to you a little while back, asking you to please handle all of them before today. And, well, I have a lot going on myself. Look, I had this big vacation with my boyfriend, so that took almost all the time I could have had for work away. You cannot use that as your excuse for not getting the work you were asked to do done. And it's not like those papers should have taken you that long to go through and fill out anyway. What? All right, now you're really starting to annoy me here. Did you just say that I'm annoying you? I don't ever remember you even having the right to tell me what to do here in the first place. But I am your manager, Sabrina. My manager? Do you have any idea what position you're in, Helen? What do you mean by that? You really think I'm going to sit here and listen to you tell me that you have no clue what position you're in after coming to this department? From what I've heard, you're being moved around this company every year, being asked to take on new roles, right? Well, that is correct, but what does that have to do with you and I? What I'm saying is that you've been moved around so much because you are just that useless to this company that they don't know where to put you anymore. So would you please stop calling yourself my manager when all you are really is this entire company's burden? I haven't been getting moved around this company a whole lot just because I'm some kind of useless burden to everyone. But what I do know is this. I am your manager right now, and that means you have to listen to what I ask you to do. Everyone else in this department has been listening to what I say and doing as I ask, except for you. So I will not allow you to act like you can have your way here all because you think I'm a burden to the company. Ugh. You really have no clue who you are, or even who I am, do you? What are you talking about? My father is the department manager for the Human Resources Department. I am very much aware of that, Sabrina. And? Do you think it's okay for you to keep talking to me like that when I'm the daughter of a man such as him? What are you getting at here? Ugh, Jesus Christ, woman. Just put two and two together already. You could be fired by any moment by my father, and that all depends on how he feels and thinks about you. He listens to every single thing I say to him, so all I have to do is speak up about how you keep on badgering me. Are you serious? Anyhow, you can stop trying to fight me like you've been doing. All right? Sabrina, work has started and you are still not in the office yet. Has something happened to you on your way into work? I haven't seen you anywhere yet, so I'm going to assume you're running late. Sorry about that. I'm not feeling all that well today, so would you please let me have the day off? What? You're only telling me that now? If you've been feeling too sick to come into work today, you should have called in sooner than 15 minutes after your shift started. Well, if you'd like to know, the reason I'm feeling really under the weather today is because of you. Because of me? That's right. I always have to sit in the cubicle next to yours, and that old person smell you always give off has been making me feel more and more sick. It's to the point I can't even focus on my work anymore, and now I feel like I have to throw up all the time. So the reason I have to take the day off today is because of you. That is very rude of you to say, Sabrina. I smell like an old person? I'm not even close to that age yet, though. Oh, so you really haven't fully realized it yet? Well, just know that I've noticed your disgusting odor, and because of that, I cannot get my work done in that office. So I've had to take desperate measures in order to have you exterminated. Exterminated? How have you gone about doing that? I asked my father to go and get rid of you. I asked for him to fire you and make sure that you never come back. So get the hell out of that office building, you old hag. You have to be kidding me. You cannot use a reason like that in order to have your father fire me. Well, unfortunately for you, that reason worked. All because I told my father that your stench was making it difficult for me to work, and if I'm not able to work, that's a major issue for the company. Why do you think you can say something like that about yourself? Because I was the one who went and set up that contract with A&A Foods. That was the first time this company has ever partnered with a company as massive as that, and it was all because of me. And not only was this a massive contract for the company, but it's worth over $30 million. If I'm not able to continue my job like I've been doing, then this company is going to have to take care of the reason for why that is. I am the ace of this company. In other words, there is not one person in this whole entire building that can go against me without meeting the fear of my father's boot. And you think that gives you the right to have me fired? If this doesn't lead to you being fired, then I'm just going to harass you more and more within the office until you quit and leave this place yourself. I hope you're ready for what awaits you.
Helen, it's been a while. How are things for you? Are you getting used to that new department?
Oh, hello, Director Drake. It really has been a while, hasn't it?
What's going on? Did something happen to make you seem so down?
No, I'm just thinking about how perhaps my way of doing things has been wrong this whole time.
Oh, and why would you be thinking something like that now?
I've always been told by my father to respect all of those that work for you, and they'll continue to work for you and do what must be done until the day they're promoted. That's why for as long as I can remember, I've always been putting my team first and only make choices based on what everyone wants.
I am well aware of that, Helen. That's the whole entire reason I have you working the job you do. Now, tell me, why do you think the way you've been handling things with your workers is wrong?
Drake, do you know who Sabrina is by any chance? She works under me in my current department.
I do, since her father and I are very close to one another. And I've known about her ever since she was a little toddler.
And what do you think of her?
She is very young and still very unripe. Yet she was able to get us that contract with A&A Foods. I feel that she has some very important skills that the rest of the company could learn from. There was also that presentation that needed to be given to the very tough business lead of A&A Foods, and she stepped up to the plate and killed it. All I can really say about her is that she is amazing. Do you have something to say about her?
I've been having sort of a dispute with her.
What happened that has led you guys to having a dispute?
All I can say is no matter what I try to do and say, she doesn't want anything to do with me being the manager of that department. And that's why I've started thinking that it's my time to leave this company for good.
What? Hey, hold on a second there. There is no way on this beautiful earth of ours that I am going to let someone as important as you leave this company. I will do anything to make sure you feel more comfortable here again, so please take back that statement about wanting to quit your job here.
Understood. Then I need to tell you what's been going on between me and that wretched little girl. Hey, did you still go into the office today? Because if that's the case, then I'm going to stay home today as well. Is that so? Well, in that case, I guess you'll be out of the office again today. Unless I quit. Really? Then quit! Oh, finally. But since I'll be quitting, you need to start making your way back to the office now. If you're not going to be a part of the company anymore, I suppose I can go back in. I know that not having me around the office would be a major detriment to the company and would even lead to it going bankrupt. It is very true that you have left a mark on the sales department that you've been working in. That's why once I have quit and left the company, you will most likely be given my position as manager of your group. Is that something you'd like to do? Something I'd like to do? Why are you asking me such a stupid question as that? If anything, it would be a blunder to not put me into that position next. But if you become a manager like I've been, you have to be here all the time to make sure that your employees are managed and that they all get their work done. That's what I'm wanting to hear. I can tell all of them to do as I say and then make my job in that company even easier than it's already been. I can just sit around on my phone all day making bank doing absolutely nothing. Things will not end well for you if all you do is use your team for your own self-interests. What I do as the new manager has nothing to do with you. Now, would you speed things up with quitting your job there? By the way, that's right. There's no way the company can continue with me only being the manager for the rest of my time there. So I think I'll have to start aiming to be the CEO in order to keep that company going and keep the money flowing into my pockets, that is. There's no way someone like you will become the CEO of the company anytime soon. I wonder about that, though. All I have to do is continue to succeed at my job there to a degree that has never been seen before, and before long, I should be the CEO because of that, right? I also have my father working as the head of the HR department, so he can surely help me get to the top. With him, I'll be able to jump over so many steps and be at the top within a few months. There is no way you would be able to get away with something like that, though. Hey, how much longer are you planning to hang around the place? You promised me that you'd be quitting, right? Hold your horses there. I have to think about things like who will be taking control of this position next, and things of that significance. So I can't just get up and leave as soon as you think. Then just give me the job as the manager and you won't have to be worried about who takes over next. I have no reason to be doing something like that, right? I am still within the company, so I can't just give you the title of manager without me leaving the company first. Also, I'm still not sure if you're truly ready to become the next manager here, or if you need more time under your belt to learn. Huh? We all know that I'm going to be the next manager, though. I am the ace of the sales department, after all. I'm not only really young still, but I've left a great mark on this company. I think this company would much rather have me in your position as soon as possible, instead of waiting around for a smelly old hag to leave. Everyone in this company knows that I should be in that position instead of you now. Therefore, you give me that seat you've had right now. You will not get away with yelling at me to give up my position like that. If you're really as enlightened on the world of business as you think you are, then wait for this company to make its decision and follow the company rules. I'm the one making the rules here. If you've got a problem with my rules and how I want things to be run, then I'd like to see you try setting up a $30 million contract with a company like A&A Foods. If you can show me that you can do something like that, then I'll be willing to finally listen to what you have to say. Oh, about that. What? The department manager is asking for you to go and see him. From what I've been told, it seems like he got a message from the leader in charge of that contract with A&A Foods, so he'd like to speak with you. Oh, is that right? I'm sure the department manager will be asking me to do some more work for him now. For some reason, he's always seemed to be very into me. Really, being as gorgeous as me is not a gift at all. I'd hurry up and get to his office as soon as you can. He's waiting for you patiently. Fine. It looks like luck is on your side today, taking me away from this discussion. But when I get back from the department manager's office, let's continue. So don't you run away from me. Sure. I'll be waiting for you to come out of there. Hey, you! What the hell is going on here? What happened? What happened with the manager that has you so freaked out right now? Because of you, that $30 million contract I had made with A&A Foods is now gone! Poof! It's been terminated! So of course I'm going to be freaking out right now! $30 million contract? What makes you think that it was my fault that contract ended up getting terminated? Stop trying to play dumb with me! You went to the CEO of A&A Foods and tattled on me to him in order to make me look bad, right? Would you not call something like that tattling? This isn't your 5th grade classroom anymore, Sabrina. I was just going to my father to talk with him about the situation I've been having here, and that I've grown tired of an employee like you always causing me so many headaches. I knew that since my father is the leader of a company such as that, he'd be able to guide me through what all I should do about you in this situation, which he did. I can't believe it. I never would have thought that you, of all people, were the daughter of that company's CEO. Why were you hiding something as important as that from me this whole time? I never was trying to hide it from you or anyone within this company, Sabrina. It just happens to be something I don't find is very important for all of you to know about, so I keep it to myself most of the time. But that is something more important to us, to me, than anything else you ever talk about. Had I just known that you were the daughter of A&A CEO, I would have... You would have never started to go on about how you would have me fired by your daddy working as the head of the HR department? That's exactly right. And another thing I'd like to know is why the daughter of the CEO of such a massive company is currently working as a manager for this company. What? Did you come into this company as some sort of spy or something? Now, why would you come to a conclusion such as that? My dream is to become just as good of a leader as my father is because I have respected him all my life. But I didn't want to do it within the same company as him because then it would feel as though things weren't fair for the rest of the company. So I joined this one, where I plan to use only my own strengths to make it to the top. I believe it's far more respectable to become someone of power through only one's own strengths, rather than to rely on their mommy or daddy to help them along. What the heck? So what you're telling me is you used your dad's position to get you into this company as a manager? You had to be helped into this company! Were you even listening? I just said that I will not use anyone else's strength but my own, unlike the person I'm talking with right now. That was the reason I never spoke about my father being the CEO of A&A Foods. I wanted to do things the way everyone else does them, and that started with me having to interview for a job here and make it through the whole entire hiring process. I never used my father's position for anything. But it's because of your dad that the contract I had scored is no longer going to happen. I don't care about that. I'm sure that after I had talked with him, he could no longer find it in himself to trust you with such a contract and asked that his sales team end that contract. This has nothing to do with me, and personally, I don't care what happened to it. And when it comes to my father, he never lets personal feelings get in the way of his decisions. Anyway, I'm going to go and tell one of my higher-ups about all of this right now. What? Are you going to go crying back to your daddy again? I will not! I'm going to someone even higher than my father. My father is a great friend of the executive director, and he also happens to know me very well. When I tell him about everything that's happened here today, he'll have no other choice but to have you fired. Tell me then, what have I done that is a reason for having me fired? I told you all I did was talk with my father for a little bit. Shut the hell up! You went and told your dad all about what's happened here, whether it was true or false, and then made him terminate that contract in order to hurt me. Because of you, you've gone and dealt this company a massive blow. So now you're going to have to take responsibility for what you've done and be punished. If there is anything that I need to be responsible for, of course I'll be gladly punished for it. But as far as I'm aware, I've done nothing wrong. Sure. You can use whatever excuses you have up your sleeve, but compared to what I have to say about you, your excuses will not save you. And that's because the executive director and I have known one another ever since I was a little girl. Is that so? Then please go have a word with him. You just sit there and wait in fear, please. Director Drake, something really bad has happened.
Sabrina? What bad thing has happened?
I'm sure you may have heard about this already, but that massive contract I scored with the company with A&A Foods worth $30 million was canceled.
I sure have heard about that happening. I've been thinking about that all day, as a matter of fact.
And, well, I have something to tell you about that. From what I've heard, that all happened because of my manager.
You're telling me that was Helen's fault? Can you elaborate on that a little further for me, please?
It turns out that she's the daughter of A&A Foods' CEO.
Ah, I already knew about that.
And what she told me is that she went to her CEO dad and told him things that may or may not have been true about me. For some reason, she seems to have lied about me, saying that I have been harassing her and all that in the workplace. That then led to the CEO of A&A becoming upset and using his own personal feelings to make the decision. He terminated the contract I had made.
Why do you think Helen would lie to her father about you?
It looks to me as though she can't get over the fact that I'm not only really young, but I'm better at my job here than she is. And that's why she's gone and did this to me. Really, she is the worst woman imaginable.
I can't believe I even bothered with trying to act like I didn't know anything.
Huh?
I already know what's been going on between you and Helen, yet you came to me with some sad old story like that.
What's happened to you, Director Drake?
I've already been talking with the CEO of A&A, and he has told me everything he knows and why he's made his decisions regarding that contract. He said he cannot trust someone like you after what you've been doing to his daughter.
And I'm telling you that Helen has been lying to you all about me. She is deeply jealous of me because although I may be young, I was able to get that $30 million contract with a large company like A&A Foods. That's why she's trying to take me down now.
You really think that contract came about only because of you?
What? What do you mean by that?
We all know that behind the scenes, Helen had been talking with the business lead over at A&A Foods, and was the one who sealed the deal with him in order to get us a $30 million contract. But you're the one thinking it was just because of your little presentation you gave that the contract was made. And since you would keep saying that to everyone in the office, Helen went ahead and said you could take credit for it. She already knew the company was aware she was allowed that contract to be made, so she didn't need to be seen by everyone like you.
You're kidding. Why would she do that?
She wanted you to feel more confident, since you're still young. And since that was a major deal that had been made, she knew you would be happy thinking that you did it all by yourself. To be honest, that sounds like something Helen would do for anyone in the company. Unfortunately, though, things didn't go the way Helen had been hoping, and actually, they went in the complete opposite direction.
No way.
I was not at all that concerned about you when first letting you into this company, since you are my good friend's daughter, after all. But it's starting to look like I've made a grave mistake by hiring someone like you.
It's all because of you that everything is falling apart for me. Oh my, if that's the way you're acting now, that would mean you had an excellent talk with the executive director. Perhaps he wasn't as friendly with you as you first thought he'd be. You went and talked with the director about me as well then, huh? He didn't even listen to a single thing I was saying to him just then, not a single thing. Really? He sure is a smart cookie for doing that. You've really gone and done it this time. Did you know that ever since I joined this company, I've been in the hands of the executive director? He's always had a lot of faith in me, and because of that, we've built a wonderful friendship together. And when I went to him talking about what you've been doing to me, there was no reason for him to listen to anyone else. Well, whatever. You're already quitting this company, so once you're gone, I'm sure I can get back on his good side. So, Helen, hurry up and quit already. I don't even want to see your face anymore. About that whole thing where I said I'd be quitting. I've decided that I'll be staying with this company a bit longer now. Huh? You're breaking your one and only promise to me now? I don't ever remember making any sort of a promise with you about that. When I went to those that have taken very good care of me within this company and told them I'd be leaving, they all asked me to please stay and that they'd work with me to take care of any issues I had. When I heard them all say that, I realized that I didn't need to quit my job here after all and could wait for them to get rid of my problems. You're only bringing that up now? Then I'm going to talk to my father about you. I'll go and tell my father all kinds of lies about you that he'll have to believe, and then he'll make sure of it that you're fired. And like I was saying before, there is no way he'll be able to do that. He sure as hell can! Because in the past he's done it plenty of times, so it won't be any different for him to fire you. I see. That's not a good thing at all now, is it? Sure, but to me, I wanted to make sure that anyone who was getting in my way or was just straight up annoying me was forced to leave this company and my life. Haven't you always wondered why so many of the people who worked with me would quit or be fired? I'm the one behind all of that, and I'm going to do the same thing to you with the help of my father. That's very unlikely. Huh? What do you think you're saying? Your daddy is the head of the Human Resources Department, correct? Well, if that's the position he holds, then he won't be able to fire me. Hey, listen, Helen. Is your head really that screwed up or something? Don't worry about it. I can tell you right now that based on my yearly health checkups, my head is better than fine. The only reason this might be a little bit wild is because I have been hiding something from you. And that something is my title. I'm not the manager of that team you're in. I am this company's supervisor. Huh? What did you say? I'm sure you can't believe what I'm saying. But if you won't be able to trust what I'm saying now, then you can go and talk with Drake about me. I'd always worked under him, but due to him referring me and asking that I become the next supervisor, I was promoted. You have to be lying this time. And when it comes to the company's supervisor, the only way one can be fired is after a meeting is held with all of the company's stockholders. A power which your daddy does not have. So there's nothing he can do to get me taken out of this company. Then I'll tell everyone that you've committed a scandal. I'll make something up about you that is so bad that you'll have no other choice but to leave your job at this company and never come back. It'll be so bad that you'll never find another job anywhere else because talk of it will spread so fast. Then there will be nothing left for you to do. As long as I get my father's help with this, we'll make sure you have to leave this company and are screwed for the rest of your life. You always seem to go back to thinking that you can just easily have me fired. That's because I can. Well, I already know about all of your moves. Huh? How would you know about everything I can do? I've known more about you than even you might know. And that's because I've always been watching you and following you to make sure I have all the evidence I need. What are you talking about? As the supervisor of this company, I have the ability to hold internal investigations within the company. And so I made sure to put someone else on the case of you and everything you've done so far, along with myself, of course. I have to have evidence of what everyone's been saying about you, and the easiest way to do something like that is to come down to your level. So what you're saying is... Thank goodness I have all this wonderful conversation with you that I can use as evidence now. Especially your texts confessing to what you've done to employees in the past and what you plan to do to me next. No, wait. All of that, everything I just said was all a joke. As of right now, your daddy is in my office having a word with me and one of my colleagues about you and about everything you've done with the help of your daddy within this company. And from what he's said to us so far, he confirms that what you've just told me is all the truth. What? That asshole. What does he think he's doing? Therefore, the next person that will need to come to my office is you, and then we can have a bit more of a personal discussion with you. Wait a second. I was being used by my father this whole entire time. I didn't go through with all those things because I wanted to. I'm sorry, but I don't understand whatever language you're using to give me such excuses. But what languages I do understand are all being used by those you have harmed with the help of your daddy. So there is nothing left that you can do to save yourself. There's no way! If you do this to me, then my future! For the time being, you will not be allowed to come into the office and will be asked to stay home. So please gather all your things off your desk and go home. If you don't, I'll make sure security knows it and have them escort you out of the building. I have a lot of work to do myself here, so I can't see that you're actually kicked out of here personally, but I'll be listening. Wait, please. Can't you please just listen to what I have to say? I'm very sorry, but I can't. I don't have time to listen to someone who's only going to lie to me more about her reasons for doing what she's done.
Sabrina has confessed to everything she'd done. And now she's going to be fired from this company.
Wonderful. Really, though, I am very sorry about everything that happened this time.
Why are you apologizing to me right now, Helen?
Well, after what I had done, or tried to do, I only ended up making things worse with her. I never expected her to only grow more irritated after I said I'd be quitting, but she did.
You didn't make the wrong choice regarding her, though. I think it was very smart of you to try and fool Sabrina into thinking you were leaving for the sake of the company. And it's because of you that there are so many wonderful employees working for this company in the first place, with most of them being able to put up with her nonsense.
Are you sure that's the case?
Of course I am. And had she been like all the other employees, she would still be working here. But she was too cold-hearted.
Too cold-hearted?
That's right. No matter how much she received help from her team and the company as a whole, she would never thank anyone and act as though she had done everything herself. There are always going to be people like her, so we just have to make sure to get rid of them before they can cause any real damage.
I see. So what you're saying is the next time I notice something wrong, like them being too cold-hearted or selfish, I need to get rid of them right away instead of trying to make them feel at home here?
Of course. I'm sure things like that aren't ever going to be easy for you, since you were raised to give everyone a chance and respect all those who work under you.
No, this time I learned my lesson after having let someone like her act so ridiculously for too long. Had I really been putting all my care into the company and the employees, I would have never let Sabrina get that far.
It will always be a tough challenge understanding when to let somebody go for the betterment of everyone else. But luckily you got to experience firsthand what happens when you don't let that somebody go. Now that you are aware, though, you are one step closer to being just like your father.
Thank you. And I'll make sure to continue learning from things like this until I am just like him. In the end, both Sabrina and her father, working as the head of the HR department, were fired. As for her father, he was of course a lot older than her, and at his age it would be a lot tougher for him to find another job after losing his job in such a miserable fashion. So he gave up on working as a company man and settled for working part-time at a local supermarket. But when it came to Sabrina, she had always been so used to relying on her parents to support her financially, and so when her father lost his job alongside her, she couldn't rely on them and left their house. And with that, her ties to both of her parents were cut, and she was on her own. She was able to find another job not too long after being fired, although at a much smaller company. But there she only caused more trouble and ended up being fired by that company as well. From there, she had no income nor a house to really go back to, having cut ties to her parents. And so she started going from one friend to another, hopping from house to house, while working part-time at a fast food joint, all in order to try and save money for a place of her own. The only issue is she hasn't told any of her friends the truth about what happened to her yet, and goes on about how she's one step away from being a CEO, and will be able to pay them all back for letting her sleep at their places in no time. But it'll only be a matter of time before they all learn the truth, and she is kicked out of all those houses and forced to become homeless. As for what happened with myself after all that, I took a month off to relax a bit and go on vacation with my mother and father to the Bahamas. There I chatted with my father some more about being a good leader, and he told me I did a great job handling things at the end there with Sabrina, and an even better job than he could have done. I'm not sure if he was telling the truth there to make me feel more confident in myself, but either way, I'm just glad to be over that hill now and have learned a couple of new things. Thank you for watching and listening. We hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Also, feel free to leave a comment about what you thought of the story. We look forward to seeing you at the next story.